I am down at RC Motorhomes' brand new premises in Plymouth on a freezing cold day. It's starting to get dark, and we'll give you the first tour that's done in the dusk of this 2016 RC9M. I thought it'd be interesting to show you one of the older ones. We've had some of the new ones on the channel. This is one that they've taken in part exchange against a new vehicle. It's got the 180 horsepower engine. It's based on a 7.2 ton chassis, and it's a rather nice piece of kit. So we'll take a stroll around the outside first of all, show you a few of the bits and pieces, and then we'll take you inside and show you what this is all about. Now there's an awning on this. It's a 3.5 meter reach awning, and what's nice about it is it's got all the screens that go around the outside, so you can completely enclose that and have it effectively like another room. The other thing we can see on here is the satellite dish. When you power it up, that lifts up and swivels, and that obviously allows you to watch satellite TV. We've got the lighting on here, as you can see, ably demonstrated by the fact that we're almost filming this in the dark. What else have we got here? This is worth seeing. There's a little button down here which we push, that releases it, that lifts up, and this is basically the garage. There's some quite nice details in here. So for example, that flips over just to protect the metalwork there. This is for the awning, so when the awning's out, that supports it and allows you to put the screens around it. Other things we've got in here, the charger and inverter live in here, all nicely plumbed in. We've got a heater outlet in here, we've got power socket in here, so this can be heated. There's even hot water in here because the previous owner of this one had a little washing machine in here, and that one there is accessed from the other side. That again was an owner specification detail, and that is the spare wheel in behind there. So that is a very nice, useful and well lit little area. We'll head on around the back. Tow bar on this one, it's a 2016, as I mentioned. You can see it's a 16 plate. It's got the twin reversing cameras, so one of them points backwards and one of them points downwards. Obviously the one pointing downwards is very useful for manoeuvring tight up against things, or when you're hooking up something to your tow bar. That's the access from this side to that garage. Other things we've got along here, it's got LPG tanks, so that is filled from there. This one here is actually a generator in there. It's got its own built-in generating system, or generator. The other thing we've got down here, then these are storage areas. So if we open that one there, I remember how to do it, there we go. They go, as you can see, across like that, and that is the awning sides, so that when that awning is out, you can enclose that area. If we carry on round, it's the inside, I think, as ever with these, that's the most impressive bit. But that's how it looks from here. It's a substantial vehicle, isn't it? Very nice indeed. You can see we've got some other RC motorhomes down here because they do all kinds of servicing and all that kind of stuff. So if you've got one of these, they'll look after the whole running of the vehicle for you. Any problems, winterizing, all that kind of stuff, they'll look after that for you. What else have we got here? We have got water inlet there and there. Not quite sure there's two, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it. There's outlets on the other side I meant to point out, which are for the freshwater draining and also the grey water draining. There's a holding tank for the toilet as well. But anyway, let's head on inside, because this is where it gets most impressive. There's a little button here. If we press that one, that brings out the step, and in we go. Now a couple of things to show you. All the light switches are here, so as soon as you step in, you've got control of that. That one there is for that generator that I mentioned. And then this is the interior. I think what we'll do is head right to the front first of all, and then work our way back through this one. Now this was owned by a couple, so it has it set up just for the two of them. There is the possibility of having this made so it could have an extra bed in here, but in fact this sleeps 4 anyway, so that wasn't really needed. What they do have here, however, is if we pop the catches on this one, that's got the table in it. It's a folding table. It's got the RC Motorhomes logo, as you can see on there, which is rather nice. And what this does is it sits, there we go, it sits into these little holes here, and what's neat is that when it's sat on its little legs, it slides, so you can keep it in place but move it to one side, which means you can get through and back without having to remove the table every time. Let's come right up to the front. Manual gearbox on this one. You've got the beautiful seats here with the armrests on them, which is nice, and the RC logos. It's the usual Iveco dashboard. It's got the satellite navigation in this, phone, stereo, all the usual bits and pieces just there. And then these seats swivel around. As you can see, we've got this one swiveled around to demonstrate, but this one does exactly the same. And then above those is one of the beds. There we go, that's fixed there. There's curtains that come across a bit of privacy, and that is a ladder that slots in to give you access up to that. If you spin around a bit further, this has got the really nice high gloss dark, I think this is cherry on here, but it's a dark wood anyway. This is all storage up in behind in places like this. You've got the opening windows as well. There's also an electric powered roof. So that fellow there, if you hit this button, will open and power back like so, all the way back. You've also got blinds that come across, so if you put it that way, that's a bug screen. Put it that way, and it's a night screen. Some really trick lighting tucked around all over the place, really nicely done. And then the other thing we have up here is the control center. So in here we have got, if I can remember what all this does, that is the leveling system, so you can level the vehicle once it's parked. That one there is the diesel heating and hot water system. We've also got, I think that's the satellite control just there, and we've got air conditioning on here as well, and that's controlled by that little chap there. And then that one there is the awning. And that is the master bolt system that controls the electric, so the inverter, all that kind of stuff. So that is basically all your controls. You've got TV in here as well, that's tucked into the corner. And then a lot of storage about the place. So you've got drawers, little catches on, obviously they don't slide out when you're driving along. Like so, all the way down there. 240 power, but also USBs as well about the place, so that's very helpful. And then over on this side is the galley or the kitchen. Again, more storage up in places like this, little reading lights as well, which is nice. And again, with the drawers across here, sink of course is underneath that one. And your cooker's underneath there. It's LPG, so that's what the LPG tank is for. And you've got your grill and you've got your oven. Considering it's a 2016, this is in really good condition, but it has just had the full refurb by RC Motorhomes. So they go right through this because it's going up for sale. Things like new mattresses in it, all that kind of stuff, really bringing it really up to as new as they can possibly make it. There's blinds across all of these, as you'd expect. That drops up like that. Again, with the trick lighting all the way around. What else have we got here? This one is just a little sort of spice rack or whatever else you want to put in there. And then we've got the fridge freezer here. Now the interesting thing about this fridge freezer, try that again. The interesting thing about this fridge freezer is the fact that it's got 3 power sources. It runs off the 12 volt. If you're plugged into the mains of the vehicle, it runs off 240 volt, and it can also run off the gas system. Microwave up there, that just slides away like so. Again, that will run off the 240 volts, so either being plugged into the mains or the generator, of course, on board as well. And if we come back again, this is illuminated wardrobe, and you've got drawers then down underneath there. I mean, a lot of storage. You could really have a good time with this, taking off for, I don't know, 6 months or a year and cruising Europe with it. Then we come right on back. Now they did 2 versions of the bed with this. They did a high bed or a lower bed. This is the lower bed. And the difference, as you might imagine, is that the bed is lower. It's not complicated. But the thing with this, of course, is this is where that garage is underneath. So if you have the high bed, then you have a little bit more headroom in the garage, although the footprint stays exactly the same. But then, of course, you lose the headroom in here, and you lose things like the lockers along the top, because, of course, everything's raised up. So that's what's chosen when the vehicle is new. This one is a low bed, and if you don't need maximum headroom in that garage, it's still a very good size, as we saw. I think that works very well. If you come right on back, then you've got windows back here, as you can see, again with the opening roof up above, and then we've got the steps up the side, so nice and easy to get up into bed. And then again with your wardrobes and your drawers, power sockets about the place, more storage down here, and there's TV in this area as well. You can see that little fella across there. So very nice, comfortable area. And then the last thing to talk about is the bathroom. That's in here. And again, very much an RC Motorhomes thing where you've got the completely separate shower. I mean, this is real home from home stuff, isn't it? Where are we? There we are. That's in here. So shower, and then the door that closes that off. So you're not using this like a wet room, you've got a separate shower area and this kept dry. As I mentioned, I think the holding tank for the toilet, it's a macerator pump on this one. You've got the heated towel rail in here as well, and a nice little sink there. And the window again with the blind drops open in place like that. And then again you've got the overhead skylight as well that opens for a bit of ventilation or a bit of extra light or whatever. And that one again has the blinds, either a bug screen or light screen. Fantastic. There must be a bit of storage in here somewhere. Hang on, let's have a look. Here we go. So you've got that there. The other thing you've got in here, which is rather neat, is that little fella there is a laundry chute. And what that does is it drops down into a compartment in that garage. So you drop your laundry in there. When you want to do the laundry, it's in there ready to go. And as I mentioned, the previous owner had a little washing machine in there. So that worked perfectly. Obviously, you could fit one of those again if you wanted to. So that is that. Now, the other interesting thing about this is that this door here, they've got on this side of the vehicle a slide out just here. So that section there can come out. And what it does then is it closes that gap here, and that gives you perfect privacy. So this whole back area becomes a really nice dressing area, washing area, getting yourself ready in the morning, that kind of thing. You've got total privacy here. And then you slide that back, shut the door, and you're ready for the day. How cool is that? That looks really nice, doesn't it? I mean, I did joke a little bit about the fact we're filming this at night, and we almost are, but it does look good lit up, doesn't it, like that? That's fantastic. Let's come right down here to the very front, and then we'll take a spin round and look at it from this end. Check that out. That is quite a vehicle, isn't it? Very nice indeed. That's the Habitat air conditioning, by the way, up in that area just there. There's obviously the normal air conditioning you get in the cab when you're driving, but that's when you're stationary, running off the generator or the shore power. Fantastic. I think that's about it. Where are we going to finish up? Let's come and sit on this seat up here, up at the helm. There we go. I'm going to pop myself in there. I'm going to say massive thanks to RC Motorhomes for organising that little tour for us. Huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll look forward to catching you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye bye.